Picture this. It's a normal day at one of the big U.S. air cargo gateways. LAX, JFK, O'Hare, San Francisco Airport. Widebody freighters are rolling in, pallets are moving, trucks are lined up for pickups, and everything is running on one assumption. Cargo will clear customs on time. Now change one variable. Customs and Border Protection officers are slowing down from airports in a group of sanctuary cities. A gradual slowdown. What happens next isn't theoretical. It's immediate. That's the fear driving a loud warning from the Airforwarders Association, based in Washington, D.C. They're reacting to a proposal coming from Homeland Security leadership, connected in reporting to Markwayne Mullin, that would use CBP staffing as leverage to pressure certain jurisdictions on immigration enforcement. And the air cargo world is basically saying, hold on. Whatever you're trying to accomplish politically, don't pull the pin on the freight network. Here's the critical detail. Air cargo isn't a warehouse business. It's a keep-moving business. When a shipment gets stuck at clearance, it doesn't just sit politely and wait. It misses connections. It gets rebooked. It starts piling up in terminals that were never designed to store freight indefinitely. And once it piles up, the wobble spreads. Truckers miss their appointment windows. Warehouses get backed up. Cold chain freight starts fighting the clock. High-value cargo needs security protocols that can't be improvised in a traffic jam of delayed pallets. Brandon Freed, the executive director of the Airforwarders Association, put it bluntly. There's no clean substitute for CBP officers on the ground at the gateways. You can reroute a truck. You can't casually reroute a wide-body freighter like it's a rideshare taking a different exit. That line matters because people keep asking, okay, if one airport gets squeezed, why not send freight somewhere else? It sounds simple until you look at the real map. Those major airports are major for a reason. They've got the flight schedules, the carrier networks, the handling systems, the specialized teams, the established lanes. Trying to switch midstream isn't like choosing a different grocery store. It's like trying to rebuild the freeway while everyone's still driving on it. And even if you could redirect some shipments, where exactly is the extra capacity? Other airports don't have empty warehouses, extra equipment, and spare staff just waiting for a sudden surge. Then you still have to solve the rest of the chain: trucking capacity, delivery deadlines, security requirements, and, for some freight, strict temperature control. So when the Airforwarders Association calls the planned cutbacks a gut punch, they're not being dramatic. Their point is that reducing processing capacity at the biggest international gateways creates a slow-motion problem. It creates a disruption that shows up fast. Now, the industry isn't just shouting. They're also trying to plan, because when you're in a keep-moving business, you don't get the luxury of waiting to see what happens. The first recommendation is simple in concept. Push paperwork earlier. File entries through ACE before the aircraft lands, so CBP can do as much pre-arrival work as possible. If staffing tightens, every minute you can pull forward matters. Second, they're telling members to consider CTPAT, the Customs Trade Partnership Against Terrorism. The reason is priority. In a shortage, trusted trader programs can mean you're not standing in the longest line when the system is stressed. Third, when it makes operational sense, move clearable freight inbound to less congested facilities. Not everything can move that way, and it's not magic, but it can reduce pressure at the worst pinch points. And then there's a tool that comes with a bit of a grimace: funding overtime directly through CBP's Reimbursable Services program. In plain terms, airports and stakeholders can pay to increase CBP coverage. Brandon Freed acknowledged the obvious downside. It feels like paying twice for a federal function. But the mechanism exists, and if the alternative is gridlock, companies will look at every option. Still, the industry message is that mitigation isn't the same as a solution. These steps can manage damage, but they don't fix the core problem. The fix, in their view, is simple. Don't slow down officers from the busiest freight gateways in the first place. And this is where the argument gets bigger than air cargo insiders. The pushback is spreading to major trade voices: Airlines for America, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the National Retail Federation. Different agendas, same conclusion. CBP cargo operations aren't a local convenience. They're part of national economic resilience. Because the costs don't stay local. A delay at one airport can ripple inland to a manufacturer waiting on parts. A backlog on the West Coast can slow restocks across multiple states. And the shipments that keep getting mentioned, pharmaceuticals, perishables, critical components, they're time-sensitive by nature. They can't negotiate with bureaucracy. So that's the tension we're sitting in. One side may see a pressure tactic. The other side sees a nationwide supply chain risk. And the reason the alarm is loud is that if staffing drops at these hubs, disruption doesn't take weeks to appear. It shows up fast, in missed connections and crowded terminals. We'll see where the lobbying and the decision-making land. But for now, the air cargo world is drawing a line. Don't turn customs staffing into a bargaining chip, because the supply chain doesn't have an easy detour.
That's our Flying Talkers News Flash for today. Our program is brought to you with our thanks by ATC Aviation. The ATC mission as the leading cargo GSSA in the world is leadership with the experience and expertise of our carefully selected team of top air cargo management specialists. The ATC vision is to expand our organization and grow their GSSA business across the globe by setting the highest standards of excellence in the cargo GSSA business through high quality and transparency in our service delivery. ATC always strives to professionally promote their partner airlines' growth while serving our mutual customers at the highest professional level. More and more leading airlines around the world continue to choose ATC Aviation Services as their preferred SAGSA partner. They know that the satisfaction of their partners, customers, our employees, and our investors is the cornerstone to successful, sustainable, and profitable business growth. ATC One World One Great GSSA. We are in touch, so you be in touch. Thanks for listening and keep flying air cargo. And good night, Joe, wherever you are.